to do is actually start off the talks by
right now,
introducing
this timing has started.
On behalf of the Hindu Temple of Antelope Valley, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here. It's a special occasion. It is also special because in about 2 weeks we'll be completing 6 years of our existence. We'll be celebrating the 6th anniversary in about 2 weeks' time, 14th and 15th. And doesn't feel that way, but certainly it has been 6 years. Also, the Akhilandeshwari Utsav ends up being the only time when we have speeches and formal presentations. Otherwise, all the other times the temple is a place of rituals and festivals and so on. So I almost feel like it's like an annual function in the school that you get reports and cards and so on and so forth. This is the third Utsav that we are doing. The COVID crisis has changed everything for us and for the world. And for almost a year, we could not get together. We could not, we had all kinds of precautions. The number of people coming to the temple, the devotees, was very small. But we were resilient. We were able to carry on all religious activities of the temple and were able to hold all the festivals. Of course, the attendance was sparse, but that way we could follow all the guidelines, the face masks, the distancing, and so on. We were able to sustain everything the way it was, thanks to the grace of the Lord, of the Devi, of Triyamba. Of course, we made changes. Many of the festivities were subdued, many of the talks were virtual, and so on, but we carried on somehow. We are eagerly looking forward to going to a normal routine. The Akhilandeshwari also ends up being a special in different ways. The temple is blessed with 2 wonderful priests. I'm sure you've seen the Abhishek this morning. Pandit Sevamurthy. Pandit Sevamurthy has been with us from the inception of the temple. He has been here to see the results of our traditions that we have created. His family is here. They help out. Pranav and Chirantan were there, but they've always been a part of the temple. We see them here every single day. 3 years ago, we had our second priest join us, Pandit Mrutyunjay Trivedi. It doesn't seem like 3 years, but it has been 3 years. He has come from Varanasi. And not only that, but he has brought the art of music. He sings, he plays bhajans, instruments, and so on. And we have a bhajan group now. He also is involved in information technology like young people. So he's the one we fall back on for a number of things. So that has been a wonderful addition. Besides that, the temple has been involved in seva activities. Every day, whatever we collect in the temple from the hundi, a fraction of it is given to seva. Rice is here and in India. The temple has come forward and done things. I'll talk more about this in just a minute. Talking about new projects, we have 2 big ones. One is the social hall. The social hall is going to be right next to the office building, just to the south of it. It's going to be a hall made of glass and brick, something like this, but maybe a little more brick, because we couldn't afford all the glass and so on. We had originally planned to have a kitchen behind the building, attached to the social hall. That plan will take form some other time, a little down the line, once we have more funds. Right now, we are focusing on completing the social hall. We have talked about a budget which ballooned tremendously because of rising the price of construction materials. So we are estimating now it will probably cost us about $600,000, out of which we have collected most of the money, except perhaps between $60,000 and $100,000 we are short of, and we are in the process of collecting more. We have a small board over there where people can donate to bricks and glass and tiles and whatever, and it might take about 6 months to complete. So we are hoping that if not by Diwali, then perhaps by New Year, for Pongal we'll have it ready. Now, the other big project is, I should give the entire credit to Dr. Padmaraja. He wants to build a meditation center. And and we have it designed with from our excellent glass windows. Meera will be talking a lot more about it in a few minutes. That might happen in a matter of months. It will start construction. What about the future? There are two aspects that I want to bring up. One is, more I think about it, birthdays and mailing them to Prasadam. That has been going on for about a year or so. We also, this year, indicated to look at ways of getting the young involved, and it is an uphill task. I have a son, I know what that means, but that is something that we are always looking for ideas from folks like yourself. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and then I'll wrap up, is that we have an intimate relationship with the Nandalala Mission. The Nandalala Mission is also a creation of Sri Amma. In many ways, this temple is also a creation of Sri Amma. And it is only natural that the two entities are connected to each other, are joined to each other, that they become a part of each other in doing and delivering things. Recently, when the COVID crisis struck in India, we were able to find a group of emergency room physicians in Antelope Valley who had connections and who were willing to send. We gave the money to the group. They were able to buy oxygen concentrators. Not only us, so many other people contributed. By the end of the month, they had collected $3 million. They chartered a FedEx plane, an Air India plane, and a UPS plane, and flew those to India, Tata, through the participation of the temple and, of course, the Nandalala Mission. I think there is a lot more to do. I think if we can figure out ways that we can complement each other. After all, it's all about service, it's about religion, and it's about prayer and devotion. And I would encourage ideas that might come to make that happen bigger. So we are looking for ideas on both of those fronts, how to engage the young, how to engage.
President of HTAB, you're always so inspiring to work with. Your dedication to this temple is truly inspiring. So it's my turn, and I'd like to speak about the meditation as you were watching the youth speakers. We'll get back to the youth speakers very shortly. So I'm just going to segue to talking about my dad, Dr. Patmaraja, sat Kavita, my sister, and I down to have a little talk. And it went something like this. Starting tomorrow, you're going to wake up at 5:30 a.m., take a shower, and 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. Kavita and I's reaction went something like this. Want us to what? Okay. Then, and from that day onward, I would start and stop my meditation practice depending on what was going on in my life. I would go years at a time doing daily practice, and other times I would just stop and be completely out of practice. When I think about this in hindsight, meditation has been the anchor for me in my life. And I truly believe that there is no better gift we can give our children than to introduce them to practices early that will ground them and give them the tools to cope with the difficult months of being diagnosed with leukemia. It was one of the most difficult experiences of my life. Yet Sri Amma's presence in our life eased our distress and brought a whole new meaning, new experience to the idea of faith. There's a beautiful, Lord, you said once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I noticed that when I needed you the most, you would leave me. He whispered, my precious child, I love you and will never leave you. Never ever. The footprints of our beloved Srimati Amma, who made miracles happen for my Amma as she stoically endured the onslaught of a horrible blood cancer in her body. That experience and the reminders from my Appa about the power of prayer for the construction of the meditation center, I didn't hesitate. It's a project I'm very excited about, not just because it has the potential to be a one-of-a-kind, world-class meditation center due to its significance of the center. And this was his response. The meditation center in Antelope Valley is an ideal addition to contemplate on Sri Amma and Akhilandeshwari in this serene environment in front of the Akhilandeshwari. Meditation is the final means. With this in mind, the meditation hall was started. Meditation is best done in proximity to all elements which are purifying agents. Water, earth, fire represents water. So we're going to install a small water fountain inside the hall where we think it could further optimize the meditation process. The center will be facing the temple tree and the Akhilandeshwari Sannidhi will be in full view of the meditator. Extreme weather conditions such as scorching heat and gusty winds. Today is not an example, but it can get pretty ferocious here. It was left to our brilliant architect, Cyrus Subawala, to design a center that would accommodate the weather conditions and yet provide the meditator with a brilliant idea of a subterranean structure that puts the meditator in proximity to Mother Earth all around, just like a sage meditating in a cave. And I want to just show you a 1-minute video of this center design. So there it is. We're working with an experienced artist in Hawaii who's associated with the Kauai Temple to create a relief of Sri Amma, which will be placed in the hall. Sri Chakra, which is the seat of the Devi, is being inscribed on the glass window as well as the top of the relief so that the meditator will have the reverberation that will induce quietude. Unfortunately, the present structure had to be recently downsized by 1/3 of its size due to the sharp rise in steel prices, which has tripled since COVID. Timber prices have also doubled. The architect, Cyrus, has impressively redesigned the structure, as you saw in the video, without altering the aesthetic of the original design. Now the hall will be able to accommodate 35 people, up to 35 people. In the future, we hope to introduce yoga classes, and we hope that this project will encourage everyone of all age groups to visit our temple and get involved in its activities. With Sri Amma's blessing, we hope to complete this project with the support of all devotees before the end of the year, along with the social hall. Sri Amma prophesies that this temple will attain the stature of the Venkateshwara Temple in Pittsburgh by 2024, and we can feel the momentum crescendoing with all these intended developments. Let's now segue to our youth speakers. This is the final section of our program, and so lunch is not far away. This is an exciting new addition, I think, to our talks, where we really highlighted youth speakers. As you know, today's youth are tomorrow's leaders. So we really feel that it's important to increase options for essay topics. One was on Sri Amma, the second on Devi Akhilandeshwari, and the third was to review one of Sri Amma's books. We had a panel of judges who reviewed the essays, and we we've invited the winners to present their essays. I would like to first invite, let's go ahead and show the video, and then you can see we'll come back to Subanki to present live after the video. So if virtual people have already seen this, sorry, it might be a little redundant for you. You can watch it once again. And so let's go right to the video. I just want to introduce that apart from our essay speakers, we also have an additional youth speaker, Abhimanyu Sukhtial, who's a budding author. I had the pleasure of interviewing. The segment will actually start with that interview, and you can listen to his conversation about a book he wrote, followed by two of the essay winners who were unable to travel due to COVID. And then we'll have our third essay speaker present live.
It's not working.
The sound didn't work.
Hello, my name is Meera Patmaraja, and today, as part of our Hindu Temple of Antelope Valley 2021 Akhilandeshwari Utsav festivity, I have the pleasure of interviewing 13-year-old Abhimanyu Sukhtial. Abhi's novella, 3 Days Till EOC, a sci-fi thriller around climate change, won Stonesuit Magazine's International Book Competition in 2019 and was published by them in September 2020. On Earth Day this year, the book was selected as the honor winner in the Young Adult Fiction category in the Green Earth Book Awards, a national award that recognizes children's and young adult literature that best promotes environmental stewardship. Abhi's book was the only one recognized that was written by a young person in a competitive field of over 180 books by experienced adult authors. From a young age, Abhi has been fortunate to have Sri Rama's darshan on numerous occasions in Rochester, San Jose, Brownsville, and Delhi. He reviewed the English translation of Sri Rama's Bhuvana and the Secret of the Hidden Treasure for the Krishna Janmashtami program sponsored by Nandalala Mission last year. Abhi will be starting 8th grade this fall. He lives with his parents and younger brother, Adiraj, in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Welcome, Abhi, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here on Zoom. Congratulations on all your amazing achievements. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you about your book. And before we begin, I want to invite you to invoke Sri Amma's blessings with a shloka.
Good morning, Jen and Nandalala. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to participate in this special event. I would first like to say a mantra to Goddess Saraswati. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupani Vidyayanabam Karishame Siddha Bhavatu Vyasada.
Thank you, Abhi. I was told by your mother that you and your brother recite that shloka every evening and really wonder whether that's what's powering your hard work and success. So to start us off, could you tell us about the title of your book?
Okay, so I started making this book during the summer of 2019, before COVID began. Surprisingly, the book wasn't originally going to be about climate change. It was actually going to be about a pandemic that's taking over the world. Ironic, right? Like, when I was in India, I saw some news about a local drought people were suffering from. And I decided, hey, why not make a story about climate change? It's a relatable situation that's happening right now. When I was a young kid, I enjoyed playing with letters and making short words, and soon I started reading and writing. In second grade, I discovered a competition known as Reflections, where kids pre-K to 12th grade can contribute different forms of art, such as dance choreography, music composition, and of course, film and literature. I started writing short stories for Reflections and entering them in the competition. I did this for many years before discovering Stone Soup, a literary children's magazine for kids 14 and under. I contributed essays, comics, and my favorite book and movie reviews. In 2019, Stone Soup held their first international book contest. We had to write a story 4,000 words or more during that summer. So that's what I did. I spent the whole summer in India writing my story, going over multiple drafts, and editing it over and over again. I submitted and learned soon after that I won, and it was very surprising and exciting.
Wow, that sounds like an incredible journey. So the title of the book, 3 Days Till EOC. EOC stands for?
End of civilization.
Okay, yeah, End of Civilization.